The AFF Championship just finished today, and so let's go over the entire tournament match results, and yeah, let's do it. If you expect me to talk about the games, you're in the wrong place. I'm just here reacting to the results. I have tried to stay as far away as I can from the AFF Championship, so this would be like a raw take. I did see who won, and I did see one of the games for the semifinals, but other than that, this is a blind reaction. So let's start. If you don't know what the AFF Championship is, it goes by many names, but it's basically a tournament for Southeast Asian nations for football. One second, my phone's falling off. For Southeast Asian nations in football, and basically every Southeast Asian nation goes except for the lowest ranked two, who go into a little qualification round before that, and it's divided into two groups of 5, with the top 2 getting to go to the semifinals, where where the first place of one team of one group will face the second place of the other group. So let's start. The qualification round was between Brunei and Timor-Leste, or East Timor, or however you want to say it. It ended 1-0 with a goal from Paulo Gali in the 47th minute in Brunei, so it ends up being a 1-0 victory for East Timor, or Timor-Leste, or whatever you want to say. And also away goals count in this tournament. So then we have Timor-Leste versus Brunei, which ended 0-0 again in the second round. So Timor-Leste makes it through 1-0 aggregate winners over Brunei, and get the privilege of being absolutely manhandled by almost every single team in their group. So then we make it to the groups, which are the groups consist of Group A being Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, Cambodia, and Timor-Leste, versus Group B's Vietnam, Philippines, Indonesia, Myanmar, and Laos. So heading into match day 1. First game was Cambodia versus Malaysia, which ended in a 2-2 draw. I'm pretty sure there's no host country, and they play wherever. Yeah, they play in some random home stadium of a country. So yeah, Cambodia, they played in Cambodia, and Malaysia yet to point out of this, finished 2-2 points shared. Then we have our first dose of Timor-Leste getting absolutely manhandled, currently by Thailand, which are usually considered the massive favorites, or the favorites heading into this tournament, because I think they've won it the most times. And then the second probability of winning is, I think, Vietnam, and then Indonesia. Thailand won 10-0 versus Timor-Leste away in Timor-Leste, so very, very, I'm assuming it was not close at all. Based on the scoreline, you wouldn't exactly think this would be a really good tight game. Myanmar versus Indonesia. Indonesia are in the final round of World Cup qualifying, have a chance of qualifying. I don't think they're going to qualify. They get a scrappy 1-0 win against Myanmar away, and I feel like Indonesia should be doing better than just a 1-0 result. Next result, Laos versus Vietnam. Vietnam gets a 4-1 win away in Laos, and yeah. Then comes match day 2, where we start off with Singapore versus Cambodia. Singapore gets a 2-1 result over Cambodia in Singapore. So yeah, I mean, Singapore's probably Singapore's the second favorite in that group, I'm assuming. Then we have Malaysia versus Timor-Leste. I mean, this was a really, really close game played in Malaysia, and if it wasn't played in Malaysia, I'm pretty sure Malaysia wouldn't have gotten the victory they got here. They got a 3-2 victory. They were down 2-1 by halftime, but Pablo Josue gets a goal. I think that's how you say it. Gets a goal in the 70th and 83rd minute to give all 3 points to Malaysia. Second game, Philippines versus Myanmar, where the Philippines and Myanmar share points. This is playing the Philippines. Then Indonesia versus Laos, where you see probably one of the best games of the entire tournament, because Indonesia kind of sucked. Ends in a 3-3 draw. Indonesia even gets a red card in the game. So that, I'm assuming the game is probably crazy. I'll watch it later if I want. Probably won't. Then we get into group stage match day 3, where we have Timor-Leste versus Singapore, and Singapore gets a 3-0 win against Timor-Leste. And it's not interesting anymore. Thailand, surprisingly enough, only does a 1-0 result against Malaysia, and kind of underwhelming result, but Thailand are still the favorites. Laos versus Philippines, played in Laos, gets a 1-1 draw, shared points. And then we have Vietnam versus Indonesia, one of the best rivalries in Asia. Vietnam, this game was boring. This is one of the games that I watched. It was boring. Indonesia wasn't really doing much and everything. Vietnam gets a 1-0 result because of, I think, a 77th minute goal. Then we have Cambodia versus Timor-Leste. Again, another close game for Timor-Leste, but it doesn't matter because Cambodia gets a 2-1 result in Cambodia. Singapore versus Thailand. Thailand gets a 4-2 win over Singapore in Singapore. Myanmar versus Laos. Myanmar gets a 3-2 result in their home stadium against Laos. I'm pretty sure we've already secured Singapore and Thailand into the second round. And then the Philippines gets a 1-1 draw versus Vietnam in the Philippines. That's a pretty good result for them because now they still have the chance of topping Indonesia and making it to the next round. And finally, match day 5, Malaysia versus Singapore ends in a 0-0 draw. Just enough for Singapore to make it through. Thailand also underperforms again, but does just enough to get a 3-2 result over Cambodia in Thailand. Sorry, I just woke up. Then Myanmar versus Vietnam. This is playing Vietnam. Myanmar loses 5-0 as a shocker to absolutely no one, and Vietnam makes it through first place. And then the real important match, Indonesia versus the Philippines. Indonesia loses at home versus the Philippines through a penalty kick, and Philippines make it through a second place in the group. So let's go look at the groups real quick. Why is this? Why is it just not working? Perfect. Looking at the groups real quick. Thailand in Group A, Thailand gets first with 4 wins, 0 draws, and 0 losses. 18 goals scored, 4 goals conceded, goal difference of 14 on 12 points. Singapore in second place with 2 wins, a draw, and a loss. 7 goals scored, 5 goals conceded, goal difference of 2 on 7 points. Malaysia gets third place with 1 win, 2 draws, and a loss. 5 goals scored and 5 conceded for a goal difference of 0 and on 5 points. Cambodia ends up in fourth place with 1 win, 1 draw, 2 losses. 7 goals scored, 8 goals conceded, goal difference of -1 on 4 points. And the Wimping Boys of the tournament, Timor-Leste, 0 wins, 0 draws, all losses. 3 goals scored, 18 conceded. Goal difference of -15 on 0 points. Everyone expected that from Timor-Leste. Smallest country playing other than Singapore, I think. Actually, I think it's still smaller than Singapore. And they had to barely beat Brunei, which is also a pretty bad national team. No offense to Brunei. Here we have Vietnam in topping Group B with 3 wins, a draw, and 0 losses. 11 goals scored, 2 goals conceded on 9 goal difference, and on 10 points. Philippines makes it in second place, 1 win, 3 draws, 0 losses. 4 goals scored, 3 goals conceded, goal difference of 1 and 6 points. The true embarrassment of this tournament, Indonesia, 1 win, 1 draw, and 2 losses. 4 goals scored, 5 goals conceded, goal difference of -1 and on 4 points. Myanmar in 4th place with 1 win, 1 draw, and 2 losses. 4 goals scored, 9 conceded, goal difference of -5 on 4 points. Laos makes it into last place with 0 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses. 7 goals scored, 11 conceded, goal difference of -4 on 2 points. So now heading into the semifinals, we have Singapore versus Vietnam and Thailand versus the Philippines. So let's start out with the first game played, which was Singapore versus Vietnam. This was played in Singapore. One leg at home, 1 leg away, and away goals count, I think. So, looking at this whole thing, it was really close for the entire match, all the way up until the very end, when Vietnam get a penalty and score in the 90 plus 11th minute. I suck at names, but I'll try to say it. Nguyen Tien Ling. I'm pretty sure I said it wrong. I'm sorry. Scores the penalty, and then in the 90 plus 14th minute, 3 minutes after, Rafaelson scores to make it 2-0. Vietnam manages to beat Singapore 2-0 away from home. And then we have the other ones, Philippines versus Thailand, in a shocker result because Thailand are still the favorites. Philippines takes the lead with Sandro Reyes in the 21st minute. Then Sufanan Bubarat in the 45th minute evens it up for Thailand, only for the last second shot, 90 plus 5th minute. Kiko Linares in the 90 plus 5th minute wins it for the Philippines, and now they have a chance to make it to the final if they can just manage to get a draw or score a goal, win the game. Just make sure they do not lose by more than a goal, and if they score 2 goals, Thailand would have to score, I think, 4, I think, because that would be more away goals scored for the Philippines than for Thailand. And then heading into the second round, the second leg, Vietnam versus Singapore. This was played in Vietnam. I don't know if this was played in Hanoi though. No, it's played in Viet Tri. Okay. Because I think Vietnam Stadium is Hanoi usually. Alright, so Vietnam gets a 3-1 result with Rafaelson in the 45th plus 1st minute with a penalty kick, and then the 63rd minute with a penalty kick. Singapore try to come back. Kyoga Nakamura in the 74th minute gets a goal back. They would need to score a lot more than that, and it doesn't happen with that Tien Ling with another penalty in the 90 plus 3rd minute. Vietnam are finalists. And then we have the more interesting side, Thailand versus the Philippines. This game would have to go to extra time. Thailand would score in the 37th minute goal from Pierdrin Chamratsamy in the 37th minute, makes it 1-0 for Thailand. Second half, Patrick Gustafsson in the 54th minute would make it 2-0 for Thailand, and they are now looking into the final, only for Philippines to not give up, and the 84th minute Christensen makes it 2-1 and have to enforce an overtime. Football terms, forces overtime, extra time. And then in the 160th minute, finally Thailand finds a breakthrough. Sufanat Mirwanta in the 116th minute scores, and Thailand wins the game 3-1 and are headed to the final to face Vietnam. So, the final. If you're watching this, you already know who won. Alright, so that's not even... Vietnam versus Thailand. This game was played... The first leg was played in Vietnam when Rafaelson, again, showing off, scores in the 59th and 73rd minute, makes it 2-0. And then Chalermsak Ake, I'm sorry, I really don't know how to say names, scores in the 83rd minute, and Vietnam wins 2-1 and have the advantage heading into Thailand, although Thailand do have a away goal. And then finally the final, played in Thailand. It would start off bad for Thailand as Vietnam would score in the 8th minute. Pham Tuan Hai would score it for Vietnam, makes it 1-0, but then Thailand tries to come back again. Ben Davis in the 28th minute and Supachak Sarasha, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say it, would score in the 64th minute, which would send the game to overtime as we currently stand. But then Thailand gets a red card. Urathep Pomphan in the 74th minute, red card, sent off 10-11. Then Vietnam would find another goal due to a own goal. I saw it. One of the Vietnam attackers tries to kick it into the half of the net. A Thailand defender tries to, like, you know how you usually kick the ball to go out. His foot was angled wrong and it would aim towards the net and went under the goalkeeper's arm, and they lost. So yeah, 82nd minute, own goal. Vietnam, as it stands, would win the title. I have no clue why 20 minutes were added on after extra time. Could someone explain that to me? I don't know what happened, so I won't say much. Nguyen Hai Long would score a last-second goal. I mean, Thailand were throwing everything they had, even through their goalkeeper. And then the goal was open. Someone just shot it, and it went in. 90 plus 20th minute, Vietnam wins this game 2-3, wins on aggregate 5-3, and are crowned AFF Championship winners. So I know something y'all are going to be asking is, why am I, a Hispanic living in the United States, first off, no connection to Asia, and also lives on the other side of the planet from Asia? Why would I be talking about this? I'll be dead honest. Club football is just kind of boring now, and me personally, I love talking about international games more than I do club football, because there's more, in my opinion, there's more passion into international championships. And yeah, this was on, and I wanted to talk about it. I'm sorry for anyone in Southeast Asia that I only made one video on it. It was in my head that I'll just do one video reviewing the whole thing. Maybe next time I'll actually go over the entire tournament like I did the Euros, Copa America, and OFC Nations Cup. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do the exact same thing I did for that in the Copa Oro and in AFCON and the AFC Cup, the AFC Asian Cup. So look forward for me talking more about Asian football in about a year. So yeah, that's the whole video. I know most of y'all aren't really looking and watching up to this point, but you know, if you are, thanks, and please subscribe. I mean, you know, 2025, trying out a few different things, but please subscribe. And yeah, that was it. Kind of interesting. I do just like looking at results and talking about them. So yeah, I'll see you on the next one. God damn it. Goodbye.